Hello and welcome to JLJ This Morning. I am James Lott Jr., the JLJ and JLJ This Morning, and the JLJ and JLJ Media. It's me. Good morning, and for some of you, maybe good afternoon, I guess. Hello and welcome to JLJ This Morning. I am James. This is live, folks. This is live. Here we go. I always do that. I'm like, why do I do that? Why am I doing that? Well, for some of you, it's probably about to be afternoon for you East Coasters, but for the rest of the country, like myself, it's still morning. I tried to come on a little earlier, and I had like 20,000 things to do this morning. Have you ever just woken up to issues? That happens some mornings. Some mornings I wake up and I'm awakened by issues. So I have my tea for my show, that's Connections. And I am going to sit here and talk to you guys for a little bit. Thank you so much for watching and following my other episodes of JLJ This Morning. Oh, my hair is crazy. I'll trying to figure that out. It's been a lot of fun. People are actually watching the videos. I've had some great guests that have been on the show. Hi, Kirsten Marie. Good morning, or good afternoon where you are. Almost good afternoon where you are. Folks have been listening and watching the shows. We've been talking about encouragement, different other subjects. It's been a lot of fun. JLJ This Morning is on Facebook, and it's also on Twitter. So you can go there and follow those. I post positive things, encouraging things. We're not like positive in a way that it's like fake and phony. And like, put our head in the sand, nothing's going on. Here's some news, folks. So some came in. They're saying that the CDC announces that fully vaccinated people can finally go back to doing something about passing on a sidewalk. I can't see it. Something about us fully vaccinated people. I'm fully vaccinated, so that does feel good a little bit. But no, it's been fun watching people listen and watch the different shows. And I have more coming up. It's every morning, Monday through Friday. Wednesdays are a live show. I have different topics. Maybe someone live, maybe with you one day. But right now it's just been me talking live to you. But I woke up this morning and I had like a host of things going on. I have a lot of stuff going on. So personally, professionally, just stuff everywhere. But anyway, so this subject is about disappointment. And I have had a lot of talks recently with people who are disappointed by things. And it's interesting because disappointment is very interesting, right? It comes in many forms. It can surprise you. It can derail you. And I can't get my email to go back to the way it was before. There we go. And I know for me, I recently have had some disappointments that have happened professional stuff, nothing like that personal, that happened, and you're just like, where did that come from? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also in the business of Hollywood, and so both those things could bring disappointment. But I'm learning from people, listening to them talk about how they feel, and also my feelings on different things that have happened. Is our pain thresholds what finally breaks us, how we handle disappointment? Those are all things that are really interesting to me. For example, so when I create something, as if you guys relate to this, I create something. You could be planning something, it could be a party or whatever. So you create something. You have a vision. You do everything on your end to set it up to make it happen, right? So for me, let's say it was a show. I had an audio show, audio drama. I wrote it, put it together, found the cast, had long-range plans for it. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. If this happens, I'm gonna do this. Now, you also know when you do stuff that things come up. There are things that come up that just, and they're kind of small. Technology issues may happen during taping. Power has gone out. Because little things are out of control. They kind of happen. You go, okay, it doesn't really derail the project. It's just kind of like, it just may postpone it for a second, or, you're like, I really want to get this done today, and you can't get it done today. So you have to get it done tomorrow because it just happens when it's out of control. Sometimes certain lines in shows that I've written, it doesn't sound right once you actually say it. When you write something down, it's one thing, but then you say it out loud or someone else says it out loud in the context it's supposed to be in, suddenly like, oh, that didn't really work out. So you change lines. That's one thing like that. But I'm telling you, the bigger disappointments are the ones where it could be an actor you hire and you love them and suddenly they just disappear, or they quit, or they, decide they don't want to do it anymore, whatever it is. And you like them a lot, you have this big range, you have this plan for them, disappointment. You set up a recording and have people don't show up, disappointments. You're hoping to get this done and get done at a certain time. And those things can actually really derail people and make you go, why am I doing this? Why am I bothering? It can happen. And I always say that you have to just realize ups and downs are always going to happen. Things are going to happen out of your control. And sometimes you're forced to really look at your vision. You're forced to look at what it is you want. And a lot of times you have to stop, let the anger go through, just, get the anger, have the emotion, whatever, feel it, whatever. But then you still have to get back to that project and really look at it. And that's not a good thing for life. You can have the anger, you can get the sadness, whatever, mourn the loss, do all that. I always say do all that. Take some moments to do that. But then at some point, you're going to have to still go back and handle whatever's going on. And you want a clear head when you're handling it. You want to be able to go to it and go, okay, what I got to do? My first thing always is, can my vision still be achieved? Sometimes, so now it's about handling it. So handling disappointment, that's the key. So you're upset, you're pissed, you vent to your friend, eat some ice cream, whatever, you're done. But then you're like, okay, now I got to handle it. So now it's about how you handle it. One, can it be achieved? So you look at it and go, okay, maybe it can't. That's another disappointment. It's another layer of disappointment. You go, oh, I got. Now the part that if it can be achieved, they go, oh, well, I'll just recast, or someone else can have those lines, or the scene's okay without this. Because sometimes that happens to you, like, oh, if I take this person out, or this scene, or these dialogue, it doesn't really affect anything. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're good. But there's times when it's the opposite. If you take this person out or drop this scene, it changes the whole dynamic of the production. The second wave of disappointment comes in. You're like, oh, God, now I'm upset again. So you feel that, curse it out, have some ice cream or wings or whatever. And then you come back in and go, okay, now what do I do? Should the project be scrapped? Is it just done? Should you film it the way it has to be filmed or recorded? You go forward, just do whatever it has to do, and it's not exactly your vision. And sometimes, actually, out of something like that, something better comes along. I did another show where a couple people backed out or whatever, they didn't do it, and the whole dynamic of a couple scenes was just totally changed. Well, me and the actors, it was wonderful. We were together. We came up with a better scene, actually, that made it to air. If you want to listen to the St. Patrick's Day JLJ Media crossover special, St. Patrick's Day, you can listen to that on all platforms, audio platforms. But the fellas and I came up with actually a funnier, better scene. That's funny. Sometimes out of that, it does, and sometimes it does work. That's the positive side of things. Sometimes it does work even better than it was before. You're like, oh, okay, good. I always say when it comes to my scripts that I am engaged to them, not always married to them. I like when people add a touch here and there. It means that they really read the script and read their part and read the scenes, then that means they're really invested. And if they come up with something that's a little slightly different, or add a different line, or a different inflection in their voice, I'm like, that means they really paid attention. And I'm down for it. I want the scripts to sound natural as possible. You're writing. And I remember another show that I do 8 million shows. Another show I did, the actress was like, I'm not going to say they are, or it's going to say, it was in the context of the show. It just sounds more like it was like I'm reading off a page. I'll say there. I'm like, yeah, no, please go ahead. Just, it's the same thing. It's fine. Or add a couple of, another show I did also, one of the actors added a nickname. He was playing best friends, and best friends in real life many times have nicknames, right? So he did that. Those touches are wonderful. I don't mind. I love that. And the same thing goes when you're planning a party or planning something else, and someone goes, "What if we do this?" And it works within the confines of the context of the party. You're like, "Sure, but let's do that." Or they think of a way to do something a little smoother. And you go, "Oh, okay. We put the food over here. That's better than putting it over here, and the flow is better." I mean, I remember we used to do events, and we had big events. We'd have buffets set up, which that's dead now. We'd have buffets set up, and I would always do a two-sided buffet. So the line, so we have 150 people, we don't all standing in one line trying to get food. That'd take forever. Have two lines, and then it cuts it in half, and then it flows nicer. People get their food, the food stays warm, and sometimes you don't think about that until you get there or you see the room and you go, "Oh, well, we can do this." And so the vision may change, but still things are achieved, and you still can walk away happy. You're, okay, I'm still good. But it's the times when you can't achieve it. That's the test, right? A guest drops out. You have a show, and the day before they're like, "I can't do it." You're like, "The flyers went out. Everything is ready." My questions. I want to say, those of us who are content creators, we don't just wake up and do a show. There's a lot of work it's involved. There's a lot of work that's involved to put something together that's decent and coherent for someone to watch. Because you have many choices out there. Like this show right here, I didn't just wake up and do it. I had an idea. I sat down, thought about it. I have notes and papers everywhere, and I knew my structure, kind of what I want to do. It's a thought. And so a guest drops out. They don't tell you why. It's like, "Oh, I can't do it." So you have a vision of, "I'm going to talk to this guest. We have a good time." I mean, in Hollywood, things change all the time. And I have one of my buddies, who's a big star on daytime. At the last minute, couldn't do it because he was filming. Totally legitimate. Totally legitimate. We were going to do the interview from the set, so it was totally legitimate. I know what it's like. I filmed, so I know it's like this. Sometimes productions run long, and they go over, and it just happens. And so it's disappointing. You're sad, but you go, "Okay, well, I gotta let it go." You still kick your scream and mourn the loss privately. I always say, do it privately, not in front of them. Do it privately. I want to have it. And it's okay to be upset. I want people to understand that it's again, no faux positivity here. It's just that there are positive things that can happen out of stuff, out of disappointment. But you have to feel the upsetness. You have to feel it. You have to feel it. I had a thought. I had an idea. I had a vision, and now it's not coming true. And I've had a few of those recently where you're just like, I'm a person who's very busy, and so I have a machine. I have 20 balls in the air. I'm juggling at the same time. So for me, I'm an organizer. So I do everything. I try to find everything I can do to be smooth and easier. That's always my plan. It's like, how can I do things where just a smoother and just no drama, no craziness. And so that's what I'm always searching for. And so, but I can't control anybody else's stuff. I can control me, but when you work with other people, it's up in the air. And sometimes, and some folks are super reliable, and some folks aren't, and some folks are always reliable, and then they sometimes disappoint you. It just happens, and it's tough, and you wring your hands in the air and your fists in the air, and you're upset, and then you have to have acceptance. That's the hard part sometimes. I have some friends who are stuck, and they're not accepting what's being put right in front of them. And that's the thing that it's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard, again, when you have a vision, you have a thought process, and things aren't matching up. You have to decide, when is it to change the vision? When is it time to let the vision go and move on to something else? Those are very hard and important things to think about. Because you're like, so I was going to be a doctor this whole time, and then that didn't work out. So now what? I have to mourn the loss of not being a doctor, not going to be a doctor, or I didn't get into a certain school or whatever. You have to mourn that. Now what's next? Or you're doing something and the universe literally is telling you, giving you all these things, these signs, these disappointments, in quotes this time. I got things flying around in here. Jesus, a little nap. That are really telling you you need to let this go or drop the vision, but you're not going to drop it. You're going to hold on to it. You're like, no, I'm going to, you refuse to see it, or you see it and you're going to play it down, or you're just going to ignore it. So that becomes, how much are you hurting yourself by not accepting the stuff that's being told to you? For me, I was telling a friend of mine this last night. For me, I had a big in my life. I had a couple of drastic measures that happened to me that really forced me to make decisions. Sometimes it is. You'd say a hard head makes a soft behind. I always say. Sometimes you have to get knocked around, and then I call it the click happens. You're like, oh, I get it. I get it. I'm not supposed to be doing this. Got it. Even though it's what I thought I was supposed to be doing, but I'm not. My thing is, you have to really look and see how it lines up with who you are. For me, I can't imagine doing, at this point, anything else. I have no idea what my future is going to look like. I have no idea what it's going to look like financially. I have no idea what it's going to look like work-wise, employment. I have no idea. But I love this. All of this that I do. I cry and scream and pout almost every day over something. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine doing anything else. I've done other stuff. I don't know. I'll be 52 in a few weeks, literally in a few weeks. I have done enough. I've done other jobs. I've done other fields. I've tried other things. Had successes in many of them. And something over there. And I did that, but they were not for me. Things would happen, and I was forced to think about it because I kept fighting it. So I try to tell people, don't fight it. Be preventative, not reactive. I had companies shut down, and that's where you're forced. You're forced. That's it. I have a friend who was at a job for the last 21 years. She wasn't going anywhere. She didn't make no changes. They let her go. Bye. See you later. After 21 years, this job. And so I'm like, well, now, whatever she was not dealing with, now she's going to deal with. Now it's in your face. My last career, some stuff was going down that was completely not kosher. And I was like, I'm done. There's a moment that happened that I was like, okay, I'm done. That was the click I needed. It was not serving. I mean, my stomach was hurting. It was not serving me anymore. Had to be done. A few years ago, I got Bell's palsy. I had my face went paralyzed. That was a big wake-up call also. And I can't emotionally be going through what I'm going through. I had to let go of a lot of stuff. Because that was, I know it was tied to stress and overweight and all the stuff that I was doing. So for me, drastic things woke me up to say, it's time to change my life. Oh, trash trucks are coming. The trash trucks are coming. The trash trucks are coming. It's trash day here on my side of the street in Inglewood. But that's the thing. So you have to really go, okay, drastic things happen. Sometimes even a drastic good thing can happen. Something big happens for you. For me, I was in Forbes magazine a couple times, but the second time I was in it, it got me a lot of attention. And I had to really look at my business to match that attention and then act accordingly. I got a lot of jobs, and it was a lot of great stuff. So there's sometimes good things happen that are big. For some people, it might be a marriage, it might be a baby. There's some things that are really drastic that happen. A job offer in a different city. The lottery, I don't know. There's anything could happen to you that's a good thing that happens to you that's big, that makes you go, you know what? I don't like this anymore. I should be doing this. I remember I've had jobs. How about you guys up there? I've had jobs where I should have left years before I did. I look back on it now. I go, God, those last 3 years of that job, I was not happy. I'm a workhorse. I'm a workhorse. I'm a loyal person. I'm a person who just, and I mean, if you guys are the same way, I'll stay at a job and I'll always try to work it out first. I'm not a runner. I'll just go, okay, I'm done. Bye. I'm like, how can I make this job better? Let me drink my tea, please. So now I'm talking crap into my tea. I always try to figure out how can I make it better? How can I make the situation better? How can I make it work? I don't, it's not, I know it always says it's better the devil you know, right? And that's not always a good thing. But there's times when I'm just like, I just want to keep it going. Maybe the money's good, but not all money's good money. They're going to say, not all money's good money. And you just kind of stay in it. And you just stay in it way longer than you should. And you have to find that choice of when to let go and move on to something else. Or is it worth staying in? And can you figure out a way to thrive in it? The entertainment business, the entrepreneurship business, not easy. Neither of those easy. They're not easy. It's crazy hours, and you miss events, and you don't talk to family for 4 or 5 days sometimes. It's ups and downs and all the way around. I mean, it's you're feeling good for 3 days, and then the 4th day you have problem after problem. It's trying to go out there and find the next thing. You're as good as your last thing, your last show, your last client. You're always marketing yourself. You're always pushing. It's not for the faint at heart. I say it all the time. And I said, I have friends who I really feel for them. We all go through it. They're literally thinking I should leave the business, or I should go back to getting a regular job, or they're feeling it because they feel like I've been doing this for 10 years, 7 years, 8 years, 12 years, and I don't feel like I'm getting ahead. But I always say you should really look at what you're doing and look at how you're doing it, look how you're going about it. There's probably answers in there somewhere. Something in general, there are some things that are out of your control. They're just there. They're over there. So just are there. But there's some things that I think are you that you have to really look at and go, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. Maybe I should work harder and do this. For me, it was, I'll take control of my career and do a lot of stuff myself. I like being a producer. I like being a creator. I like being a director. I like being a writer. I like being a host. I like it. I mean, I like having control of what I'm doing. I'm not the type of person who's waiting to be discovered and they'll say, "Oh, my trouble's away." No, I'm not. I'm not that kind of person. People say like, "Well, you should be on E." You should be like, I don't know if I want to work for those companies. They have a lot of restrictions. I like being in charge. So I always tell people, instead of trying to get me to be on something else, I want them to partner with me and bring up my stuff or bring stuff to my network. And we work it together. I don't have to have every single idea. I like collaborations and partnerships all the time, and I have some. If you have a project we may collaborate on, sure, I'm here. For something good that works for me. But I'm not looking to be saved and then suddenly be a star. I'm like, make my stuff a star, make my people on my network a star, make my co-host a star. That's how I win. You bring them, come to me, and then we can grow together. Now someone asked me, that's why I got here late. You're disappointed. That's right, Geneva. Use that word. Yes, Geneva Holland. Hello. It's I know some folks who they're just talent. They just want to come in, have everything we told to do, blah, blah, and then fine. But there's some of us who we like being producers. We like creating something. I like making my own music. I have a producer I work with. I like working with him. I like have my own record company. It's mine. I'm in control. I have artists underneath me that we're releasing music. I love that they're happy. I have co-hosts that are happy. I have writers that are happy with me. I have actors that are happy on JLJ Media. I like that. It's like I want them to be really big. If they move on to something else, great. But I'd love to have them be big on mine also and have success. But disappointment comes in so many forms. It's so weird. And again, going back to one of the shows I had some people throughout the way either quit or we had creative differences, which happened. And I had to change. And some things I was able to recast roles. That's the thing that happens in TV and radio. You recast roles, and so I was a recast on a show years ago, so I know what that's like. You just recast it, and you keep it moving, and sometimes that works. And one of my recasts on one of my shows really worked out. Two of them really worked out. They were both amazing. Oh my goodness, amazing. And again, goes to show out of disappointment, something wonderful can happen. And I remember because I had to recast 2 roles in this one family, literally. And once I did that, the whole dynamic of the family changed, and it was more fun to write for them now than it was before. A recast I brought in of an actor who I liked. They did an episode, they left. I brought in someone else, and they finished the rest of the season, and they're wonderful. So even though I was disappointed that person who I liked and did a fine job left, this new person comes in and does an even better job. And so it's like, well, then there you go. Sometimes things aren't meant to be. And that's kind of what disappointment is sometimes. You have to go, okay, well, that must be, they always say that when God closes doors, it just means it's narrowing you down to your true path, right? And not necessarily they're trying to keep you out. Is like you're trying to keep you straight and narrow directly to where you're supposed to go. So for you faith-based people, you know that. You trust in God, He'll lead you to the direction you need to go. Of course, you do the work and everything, but it's just kind of like, so that door closed, and I wanted to help that person. I like them, and I'm sad that they just fell apart, but it opened opportunity for someone else. Same thing, I asked someone to do, I offered a role to someone, and I'm thinking they'll be so good at it. I had a whole vision with them. They turned down the role, which is their right to do, and they told me why. And I respect that. I still think they would have been good in the role. But the next person I offer it to really likes it. He loves playing it. It's like he's talked about it on the show so much he loves. So it's like, well, then now I give an opportunity to somebody who loves playing it. And actually, they're going to really take care of this character, and they're really invested. So that's even better. So my disappointment in the one person not taking it turned into something wonderful when the other person took it. So sometimes you have to look at it and go, it's a gift. They're telling you what's happening to you. The disappointments are a gift sometimes. They're telling you, look at this. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you don't want to work for somebody like that. Maybe you don't want to work with somebody. Maybe there's all these things that happen. And I have another person that I work with, like a lot, totally disappointed me recently. And I still don't even know what's going on. Kind of, I mean, going on, but it's made me rethink a bunch of stuff regarding the project this person's on. So now I'm not doing anything yet. I'm just thinking about it for the future. I'm gonna sit with it, let the disappointment run through. Don't make any rash decisions or do anything. Just let it run its course, and then when it's time for me to revisit that project, really look at the whole project. Because again, I don't want to make rash decisions. I don't want to cut off my nose and spite my face. That's the thing about disappointment. Sometimes you get angry, and the anger takes over, and you just act. You're all bitches, whatever. Like, no, it's like you have to be. It's like you want to be careful. I don't want to start shooting everybody because I just want to make sure that I really stop, drop, and roll, so to speak. They say, and see and really think about it and go, okay, this is the deal. Got it. And then make decisions, informed decisions based on that. Not so much on emotion, but more on going back to my vision. Okay, so I'm sad about that. And let's go back to the original thought. Is my vision still can happen? Does it mean I recast the role? Does it mean I drop the role? Does it mean I drop the series? Does it mean you start asking all those questions? Do I continue? Do I not? Again, I can't imagine not being an entrepreneur at this point. I mean, it's a lot of work. I had this point yesterday. And something happened that, again, in my entrepreneur business side, that happened that I was really sad about. And because I had a vision of what I was going to do that day with that thing. Didn't happen, so now it's postponed for a couple of days. Well, I went through the anger, went through the yelling and screaming, the FUs, but it's still coming in a couple of days. So if all goes well, what originally I was going to do 2 days ago will still happen 2 days later. It'll be fine. Life will go on. And that's kind of where I'm at, right? That's kind of like, okay, I should be okay. So that's kind of what that's, so you got to go, okay, well, sometimes it's just deferred a few days. It's deferred over here. You have to kind of like let that go. I mean, you can't control everything. My new favorite phrase from Minnie, remember to lick the spoon. That's right. From when calls the heart. Yes. You have to take a deep breath. You have to take a deep breath. You really have to. Go outside. Some people smoke a joint, whatever, have a glass of wine, whatever. Some folks do that. Some people get a piece of pie, whatever. It's just like you have to go outside, just, pray, whatever you have to do. You have to meditate. You have to just kind of sometimes stop. Let it run through you. Feel it. Feel the emotions. Feel them. Don't hide them. Feel them. Be sad. Be upset. Be angry. Get it all out. And then go back in. Go back in and try to figure it out. Because the world still runs. The world just keeps going. The world will step on you or step over you and you keep on walking. There's nothing, you can't really just lay down and just like, I'm out. I mean, that doesn't really help anything. You have to really still be in it to win it. So you have to kind of go, okay, this happened. We got to keep moving. We keep it moving. And so a lot of people ask me, well, were you mad at me for this? They're like, I don't have a chance. I mean, I was angry at the moment, but I can't even be mad at you right now. I have 20,000 projects happening. I don't have time for anger. I don't have time for disappointment happens, yes, but I have to move on. I have another project 2 hours from now. I have a show 3 hours from now. Like, I really don't have time for emotional stuff at this point, kind of, when it comes to my work. Clients like, I'm so sorry. I need to cancel today. Okay, that's fine. You want us to get stuff done for you at a certain time, what's up to you. And if you don't make yourself available, then I can't cry over spilled milk. I can't do anything I can't do. Right. And so that's what I'm learning. In some ways, I like that, actually, because I don't want to be angry and upset all the time. I don't want to be mad at people. I have a mental check in my brain, like, okay, can't trust you, can't rely on you. Oh, you do this. It's nice I have little bookmarks for people, even when they disappoint me. They go, okay, or it's a one-time deal. It just happened as a one-time deal. Because there's some things that happen sometimes that's even out of their control too. I had a show one time where my guest got in a car accident. And she's one of the leads of the show. And it's like, there's nothing she could do. She was in a car accident. There's nothing she could do about it. Like, literally nothing she could do about it. That was completely. So my vision of getting this particular episode done was shattered because she was the lead of the show and most of the scenes. We were able to record a few scenes, but literally we had to wait till she was fine. And I have compassion. I was more about that than my show. My show can wait. You know what I mean? It's like, it can wait. She's more important than the show. And she is. I love this person. She's great. So it's like, you get disappointed because you want it done, but then you go, well, that's out of my control, out of her control. You gotta let it go. So we let it go. We said, we'll reschedule when you feel better, and then we're on to the next thing. That series is actually complete now. I actually recorded everything. But I have another episode of something I did. It took us a month to complete it. It was done. So anyway, I was so committed to finishing this episode. It was almost comical. And when we finished it, we all clapped and yelled, and we did. It was kind of funny. We had a shared experience. It was like, I believe this. I didn't want to cut any scenes out of it. It needed to be done. I had a couple of cast changes. I had to change dialogue. It didn't matter. I was going to finish this episode because it was very important to a series. We were going to do it. And that for me was like, that was a choice of, I'm sticking with it. That it's actually worth it to me. I made a decision, it's worth it to me. No matter what the disappointments are, we're going to roll with them and continue to make them happen. Hello, keep working hard. I am. I work hard every day. I'm tired every day. I work hard every day. I'm getting older. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on. I'll be 52 years old in a few weeks, and I'm like, I'm ready to lay down. But I do love all this stuff at the same time. I do. But it's very much, you have to just kind of go, okay, it's, you gotta let go, let God, just kind of like just let things fall where they may, and then pick them up and see what's useful. And that's what I've had to learn. Some things they just happen. So there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Let me sip my tea on that one. So that's disappointment. That's your time. I try to keep these short. This is a little longer than I thought it was going to be, 35 minutes, but I want to just say that. So I guess in conclusion, basically, just accept disappointments. They're going to happen. Then sit with them and feel the emotions, sit with them, and then just try to figure out what's next. And really try to look as honest as you can at what's next. You may have to go outside yourself and really look within and make some hard decisions. This may not be for you. This whatever it is you're doing may not be the thing you're supposed to be doing. Or maybe it is, and you got to change your attitude and outlook about it. One or the other. I'm James Lott Jr. JLJ This Morning is on Facebook. Go ahead and like there and follow us. And JLJ _ this morning, or JLJ this, it's JLJ This Morning is also on Twitter. So follow us there. And James Lott Jr. everywhere, of course. JLJ Media is the company, it's the network, over 35 shows, including from Star Wars to soaps, everything in between. And check us out. This Morning is every Monday through Friday. Weekends are off, so you can catch up on the episodes. They're in the morning, but the themes are very universal. They're you can listen to them anytime. You can pass them along. And if you're a positive person and have something to say, or want to come on the show, let me know. DM me, message me underneath the video, whatever. Let me know, and we'll see we'll see if there's a fit. We got a show. Everyone, so today, have a good day. Thank you, Geneva, Kristen Films, everybody in the chat room, everybody's watching. Have a good day today.